सुनो मत बोलो. Wherever, whenever, whatever you are, be 100% कर्नाटक. किसी को आओ मत कहो, किसी को जाओ मत कहो. ना कुछ पाना ना कुछ खोना. Who asked you live at zero complaint level? मौज में रहो, be happy.
Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Whatever we do in our life, what for it is done? We can be nishkam, but it cannot be nishprayojan. Two words. What is the purpose that we are doing it for? We know only one thing, for fulfillment of desire. But we are told we should kurvanne veha karmani jiji visheshatagam sama. We should keep on doing. So, you should not have desire. Yet you should do karma. Then what for? See? Therefore, we must know the prayojan. So these two words should be clear. Nishkama is perfect, but nishprayojan cannot be. Like we went for a walk. What was the kama? No desire. We are not gone for getting any desire fulfilled. Prayojan is you feel fresh in the morning when you walk. So, here also there are four paths: karma, yoga, upasana and knowledge. What for? What is the prayojan? This is what is now said in the 10th mantra. Rusthale manaha sasthata kriya bhakti yoga bodhascha nishchitam. So, the path of karma, bhakti, yoga and bodha, knowledge. What for? Rusthale manaha sasthata. Our mind must come back to the source. Rut, Hrudaya. Then from the Rut dhatu, the Hrudaya word comes. Rut means Harati, the one who loots away. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The one who loots away. See? So, let the mind come back to the heart. Where from it begins, it must come back there. Now, what is the heart of colors and forms? Heart of colors and forms is vision. Heart of the sounds is the hearing ability. The heart of all the faculties, sense organs, and organ of actions is mind. The heart of mind is I. The heart of I is life, Chetana. The heart of Chetana is Chaitanya. So, cause is the heart of effect. Therefore, Rusthale manaha swasthata. We have to bring back our mind to its own source. It is for this purpose we do karma, upasana, yoga and study of books or knowledge. This is the prayojan. If this is not happening, we are missing the opportunity. Although we are struggling to do this, do that, yet we are missing it because the purpose is not clear. So what is the purpose? This is the purpose. Therefore, as we have seen in karma, karturajnaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. Then that jada karma, what it does? Kruti mahodadau patana karanam. See? Then we get lost in this world, doing karma. But then you say you have to do karma. Then what for? So karmani chitta shuddhyartham. So the purpose of the karma is purification of our mind. Now what is the purification of the mind? For that we must know what is the impurity in the mind. See? Purification of water is different. Purification of air is different. See? Purification of the clothes is different. So purification of the mind means what? So what is the impurity in the mind? Impurity in the mind is only two way. Likes and dislikes. Rise above the likes and dislikes. You have understood a lot in spiritual path. We are obsessed with certain things. And we like or we don't like. We have to get out of it. Then how do we get it out of it? So, karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So, whatever we are supposed to do it. No option. But I don't like it. We didn't ask you whether you like or you don't like. You have to do it. See? So when we are doing what we are supposed to do as an obligation, kurvanne vehe karmani, then how to do the karma? Express happiness through the karma. When we thus start living on this foundation, that we have no complaints, whatever is due, it must be done, and it is done. By this, our mind becomes purer. And for that purpose, the karma is done. See? Then, second come bhakti or the upasana. Upasana is done for training our mind to remain focused on whatever we do for a required length of time, effortlessly. That is the purpose of upasana. But what happens? Our focus becomes extrovert. The same thing happens in yoga. They teach extrovert focus. How? Yoga, the focus is, look at the flame in front of you, at a candle flame, and do tratak. When you do tratak, you go away from yourself. See? Dharmendra, move little this side. She was looking from there as if she is looking at a zoo. So, Trataka makes us extrovert. Therefore, you must have seen now last 2 days, 3 days, I have not used the word concentrate. Concentration is on others. Awareness is on the self. So don't concentrate on the spiritual path. Lead more and more life of awareness. And for that, bhakti. So, in bhakti also we are told, first external too many things, then reduce the canvas, only japa, and then dhyana, see, and then rusthale, then come back to sarala chintanam viralataha param. Remain more and more in awareness, come back to your heart. So, karma is for that. Devotion, bhakti is for the same purpose. Bring yourself back to your own being. Then, yoga. Yoga, if it is correctly understood, according to Patanjali Maharshi, then the yoga is, normally what is understood? Chitta vritti nirodha yoga. It is incomplete understanding. These two sutras go together. They cannot be separated out. The rules of the sutra writing is, one sutra gives birth to the next sutra. See? Like the first sutra is, Atha yoga anushasanam. First sutra. Naturally, yoga anushasanam. What is the meaning of yoga? Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti nirodha, yoga. Then what will happen? Tada drashtuhu sarupe avasthanam. See, one by one. So, if we understand a sutra without reference to the prior and the subsequent sutra, we will get lost in misunderstanding. Therefore, when it is said, yogaha chittavati nirodha, they immediately, tada drashtuhu sarupe avasthanam. Whenever the word tada is used, it is preceded by yada. See? Yada yada hi dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyam. So, yada, when chitta vritti nirodha happens, then you come back to your essential self. It is for that purpose yoga is practice. Therefore, yoga, manaha, hrusthale sastata. And bodha, now bodha is also very important to understand. Bodha is not jnanam. There are two words. One is jnanam, second is bodha. Jnana is the knowledge which is gathered through some means of knowledge. This is the red color, this is knowledge. See? For a blind person, there is no color problem, no form. See? And what is bodha? Bodha is experience which does not need any means of knowledge. Now, what are the means of knowledge known to us? Sense organs, mind and intellect. These are the three means. So, what is the bodha? Bodha is that knowledge which doesn't involve sense organs, so we drop the complete objective world. Then mind, we drop all the likes and dislikes. Intellect, we don't start conceptualizing the truth. When conceptualization is dropped, we are free from I. When conceptualization is maintained, earlier I used to eat non-vegetarian since I came in on this line. They ask us also this question. Somebody says, when you came on this line, जब से लाइन मारना छोड़ दिया इस लाइन पर आ गए लाइन. So that experience which is neither objective nor effect of likes and dislikes nor a concept, bodha. And this is achieved by study of scriptures. So we study scriptures. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. By looking at itself, you get tired. My God. That is the reason 40 years it took me to have the courage to open that book. Studied everything. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, I used to simply, it is with me for years together. But no courage. So big it is. And it is not in a poetic form, it is prose order. And the mantras are the whole page is one mantra. Then you have to, ye kaha gaya, this is from ye, this is. So, study of scriptures, Upanishad, is not for erudition and scholarship. When we study scriptures, Upanishad, etc., and we become wise, then it is a concept. See? Therefore, this point which I told you, real spiritual evolution is not becoming extraordinary. Remain ordinary. We don't have to prove anything to anybody in this world. See? That is important. Therefore, all the four paths, karma, bhakti, yoga, knowledge, they are aimed at Rusthale Manaha Swasthata. The mind must come back and swastha. Swa means ourself. Stha means to be. Like at ease and dis-ease. When we are at ease, we are healthy. Dis-ease, we are not healthy. See? Stha, swastha, we are in ourselves. See? Aswastha, we have gone away from ourselves. Therefore, Rusthale Mana Swasthata. So, when the sense organs drop the objects, when colors and forms are of no much consequences to us, we have dropped them, come back to the vision. Multiply this example. When we are weaned away from the objective pursuit of worldly objects, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, we have migrated from there, we have come to the sense organs. From the sense organs, then we go back to the mind. Because the mind alone is expressing as sense organs. Then from the mind we go back to the I. Whose mind? My mind. And what is this I? It is an expression of the Chaitanya reflected in the matter. Chidabhasa. Abhasa, reflection. Chit, Shuddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness reflected in the intellect is I. When there is no reflection of the Chaitanya in the Prakriti, it is Jada. So intellect is Jada itself. Intellect doesn't know anything. In that intellect, when reflection of the Chaitanya happens, then that inert intellect becomes enlivened. If you can catch this point, you have done a great favor to yourself. When we talk about reflection, what comes in front of our mind? Stand before the mirror, reflection. That is not the meaning. That's a very KG1, KG2 meaning. Now understand this. The steel out of which the motor engine is made does not move the car. Then the petrol which is kept in the tank, the petrol also doesn't move the car. Then when that petrol goes through the engine under n number of conditions, then horsepower happens. And that horsepower makes the stationary vehicle move. And in that movement, the engine is also moved and the petrol tank is also moved. See? How simple it is. In the same manner, Shuddha Chaitanya expressing through the matter as Chidabhasa, a phenomena called as Jivana. Life happens. And that life, because it is expressing in the body, then gets identified with the body, and Mr. I is born. See? That is what is called, before we enter the asampradnyat samadhi, we have to come to the asmita asmitanugata sampradnyat samadhi. First is vitarkanugata sampradnyat samadhi, meaning worldly objects have no impact on us. First. Then vicharanugat sampradnyat samadhi. Then the experiences gathered through the sense organs, the thoughts have no impact on us. Mind is at peace. See? Then the third is anandanugata sampradnyat samadhi. Meaning, when you are living in this world, you enjoy, and we get lost in that bhog. So if we recognize that the happiness is coming not from the indulgence, but by bridging the gap between the object known and the subjective experiencer, when this knower known division disappears, that is anandanugata sampradnyat samadhi. Many yogi seekers get lost in this. मजा आ गया है मेडिटेशन में, वही रहो फिर. So see how this is how scientific it is. First we get lost in the object, get out. Get lost in the thoughts of the object, get out. Get lost in the enjoyment of the objects, get out. So, object of experience is dropped, the thought of experience is dropped, the joy of the objects is dropped. Now where do we come? We come asmitanugata sampradnyat samadhi. We come to this I. See? And when we come to I, there the division of knower known, in technical language, is triputi. Knower known knowledge. Experiencer, experience, experienced. This triputi disappears. That is asmitanugata sampradnyat samadhi. Unless we are established in the sampradnyat samadhi, we have no admission in the asampradnyat samadhi. It's good we have not studied yoga. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Therefore we told you, you are in a wrong class if you find it difficult to lift. So the purpose of all this is Hrusthale Mana Swasthata Kriya. Let us come back. Now we come to the Yoga Marga. Vayurodhanat liyate manaha jalapakshivat rodha sadhanam. Vayurodhanat, by the practice of pranayam. Vayurodhan is pranayam. Vayurodhanat liyate manaha. Now here also you will see majority of the yogis do not get this particular point in their pranayam because they are lost only in the health. If you do this, your blood pressure will come down. See? Yoga Shastra is not a health proposition, something higher than that. See, friends. So, Vayurodhanat liyate manaha. When you do pranayam, anulom milom, close your right nostril, breathe in, then close the left nostril, breathe out. Then again breathe in from the right nostril. Then close right nostril, breathe out. Like this, keep on doing. By this, the mind becomes relatively quiet. Not liyate, mind doesn't get dissolved fully. Unless we know what is the meaning of pranayama. What Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is telling, what is the meaning of pranayama, is the mechanical meaning, only physical activity. We have to know. Now we'll see. This example is very simple to understand. You must have been doing it when we were using the snail mail. Now we have got email. Earlier it used to be snail mail. So we go to the post office, buy the stamp, come back. After finishing, we want to put it on the stamp, on the envelope. So first thing, taste it. Corona. And when it has become sufficiently wet, then we fix it on the post, this envelope and fix it. Okay, we'll post it. And in that hurry-burry, we come to know that, oh God, I have pasted on a wrong envelope. Now, if you want to peel it off, it will be torn. Then what is to be done? That stamp is 50 rupees. Envelope is 5 paisa. Then we take out the contents and give that envelope with the stamp Jala Samadhi. Put it in the water. Net result is the glue which was holding them together is loosened, and then you can peel off the stamp without destroying it. If this example is clear, in the same manner, the body and the mind, they are held together by the glue of pranayama, prana. See? Now understand this way. This is the body, and this body is held by the mind. Now how the body is held by the mind? Mind adopts to the shape of that object. Like how I am seeing her, my mind has gone out, is called technically vritti vyapti. The thought has taken the shape of this object. See, in the same manner, our mind takes the shape of our body. Now that mind has got a reference point to think. This is very important principle to know. Mind cannot think without reference point. And only reference point we have is the body. When in deep sleep, this body reference point is given up, no thoughts. See? So, what is happening? Our mind has taken the shape and holding on to the body. Now, when we do pranayama properly, what happens is this prana, which is like a glue between the mind and the body. So, imagine this finger is the mind and this case is the body, and in between there is a prana. So, by the process of pranayama, slowly the hold of the mind on the body is loosened. And therefore, be attentive. Therefore, the individual mind merges in the total mind. And because of that total mind, life continues to function in the body. See? Life has not departed. Therefore, when we do pranayama, by this pranayama what happens? This tight attachment of the mind to the body is slowly weakened. See? And when we keep on eating incessantly without any control, whole day, eat, what will happen to that food which has gone in? What will happen to it? Part of it is excreted as solids. Part of it is excreted as liquids. But the gaseous toxins which are the byproduct of metabolism, they are not excreted from the system. They get deposited in the bloodstream. And our blood becomes saturated because of those metabolic toxins. And because it gets saturated, where will those toxic gases go? They go in between the joints, in between the bones where there is a joint, there is a space. And therefore, when you break the joint, nothing is broken. What has happened? You feel relieved, is it not, when you break the joint? Because the tension was because of those toxic gases. Now, those toxins, they start eating the bone heads. Or if there is a cartilaginous disc, it starts eating that. And also the synovial fluid, the lubrication, that is also getting dehydrated. Then pain here, pain there, pain everywhere. So like we have to go to toilet 2-3 times a day, we have to go to urination 2-3 times a day, we have to do pranayama at least twice a day so that the unwanted toxins are removed from the system. See, but don't spend whole life only in that. Purpose should be clear. Now if by this pranayama, now the mind is not tightly attached to the body, therefore vayu rodhanat liyate manaha. So the mind is slowly released of the reference point, the body. But how long? Jala pakshivat rodha sadhanam. Example is given. You must have heard or read this story. There was a hunter. He went to catch the birds in the forest. So he spread a net, put some grains, and all the birds came. Then he caught hold of them in a thing and left them there. I'll come and collect them after I do other jobs. Now all the birds, they were not able to do one thing, what to do. So all the birds decided together, let us together fly. And they flew, the whole lot together. But after some time, they got tired and again came on the ground. Then one rat came and he asked, may I help you? Yes, we are tied down. Okay, don't worry, I'll cut. And then they cut the net, that rat, and all the birds are removed. So that catch was valid as long as the net is intact. In the same manner, your mind remains quiet as long as the pranayama effect is intact. After that, dhum dhadaka begins. This is the story. Jala pakshivat. See? Jala pakshivat rodha sadhanam. It's not all the time. Therefore, if you read these Purana stories, yogis and tapasvis are very angry persons. Keep on cursing. They are the mobile cursing, shops. If you do this thing, you must have seen many people when they go to the Mahatmas, they go under fear. ऐसा मत करना, मस्जिद हट देंगे. See? There should be a joy But we are afraid something will happen. So, Vayurodhana liyate manaha jala pakshivat rodha sadhana. So the mind cannot be really controlled by pranayama alone. It is done only for some time. See. Then what is to be done? Now again we come back to inquiry. See friend, this is the foundation. When anybody asks me any question, I tell them, I say, look here, I have got only one answer. Correct your thinking process. Problems are not solved. Problems are dissolved. We cannot solve a problem. We try to solve one problem, second problem comes. See? Therefore, in the 12th mantra, the teacher says, Chittavayavaha Chitkriyayuta Shakhayordvai Shakti Mulaka. See? 4 words. Chittavayavaha. Chitta, the knowledge. Vayu is prana, kriya. So these are the 2 faculties we all have. One is the mind, second is the kriya shakti, jnana shakti and kriya shakti. So chitta vayavaha. And what these do? They do, chit is chit kriya yuta. So the mind is engaged in knowledge, and prana is, kriya shakti is engaged in kriya yuta, in the action. So there are 2 faculties we all have, jnana shakti and kriya shakti. See? So chitta vayavaha chit kriya yuta. So jnana shakti is expressing through the mind. So all the jnanendriyas are the expression of the jnana shakti, and all karmendriyas are expression of the prana shakti, kriya shakti. So chitta vayavaha chit kriya yuta. Now what are they? Shakhayor dvai. They are the 2 branches of the same thing. Shakhayor dvai, Shakti Mulaka, only one mool, one origin. And what is the Shakti Mulaka? Now understand this way. From my palm, these 2 fingers, index finger and middle finger, when they come out and they are going in opposite direction, the gap between them will start widening, is it not? At the base it is only little. As you go away from the source, the gap between jnana shakti and kriya shakti goes on widening. Be very attentive. If it goes far, and this also goes far away, meaning what? When our knowledge is not represented in our action, and when our actions are not representation of our knowledge, net result is the gap between knowledge and action widens. And that is called as lack of self-confidence. I don't know whether I will be able to do or not. Lack of self-confidence. In the language of your Kundalini, Amma, see, Ida Pingala, when they merge, it is Sushumna. Meaning, when the gap between the knowledge and action is reduced to 0, that means knowledge and action, they merge. When they merge means what happens? Where from they started? They started from consciousness. So jnana and the kriya shakti, when they merge together, they go back to their original status of consciousness. See? That is awakening of Kundalini. One is Kriya Kundalini. Second is Prana Kundalini. What we are talking is Jnana Kundalini. It's only by understanding. Now once we are convinced of this, what will be our day-to-day? I told you, spiritual life is not a part-time profession. It's a full-time preoccupation. You do karma part-time. You do upasana part-time. You do yoga part-time. But spiritual life is 24/7. It is not part-time, full-time, preoccupation. Very clear it should be. So when we are thus able to recognize this, that we must respect our knowledge in our life. And as regards knowledge is concerned, none of us lack. Anger is bad, everybody knows. Yet we become angry. Laziness is bad, we all know. Yet we continue to be lazy. Waking up late in the morning is bad, yet we continue the same. Watching unwanted movies and all kinds of things late up to night, 2 o'clock, and yet we do the same thing. See? So what is happening? The knowledge is not represented in our action. And that is how we are having sincerity, but we are sincerely lazy. See, friends. Therefore, Chittavayavaha Chitkriyayuta Shakhayordvai Shakti Mulaka. Like, now take the day-to-day example. Electricity expressing through the bulb, light, Jnana Shakti. Electricity expressing through the fan, Kriya, movement, Kriya Shakti. Now, are there two electricities? Only one. In the same manner, one consciousness, one Chaitanya, expressing through the conditioning of the mind and the sense organs become the Jnana Shakti. And the same consciousness expressing through the prana and the organs of action become the Kriya Shakti. But behind them there is Shakti Mulaka, there is one divine power or the Chaitanya. See? This has to be only understood and practiced, that's it. But normally what happens? For us meditation is just, silent suffering. Keep holding. Relax, man, relax. We don't have to do it. See? But the rogue, the disease of doing is so deep in our system. We can't give up. Now tell me, our vision is not attached to the objects which are illuminated by the vision. Now what you have to do? I have to do sadhana. What is sadhana? I will keep my eyes open, but I should not be able to see. You are doing a dumb way. Only come to know. Yes, see what is required to see, and that's it. If you don't like, over. But we have the disease of doing something. One person told me, Swamiji, what you talk, we don't know what we have understood, but we really feel very good. What we understood, we don't understand anything, but we feel definitely good. But what is that, we don't know. I said, the moment you will know, you will start giving lectures. When knowledge is digested, it leads to silence. When knowledge is indigested, it leads to pravachan, what I am doing. Prakarshena vachanam, pravachanam. So, chittavayavaha chitkriyayuta shakhayordvai Shakti Mulaka. Now, when we are doing this pranayam, then what happens? Laya vinashane ubhaya rodhane layagatam punar bhavati no mrutam. When we are limiting ourselves only in the pranayam, The mind becomes laya, sleeps, becomes quiet. So layagatam punarbhavati. So during the curfew of pranayam, the mind is quiet. The moment the curfew of pranayam is lifted, dhum dhadaka begins again. See? It should be clearly understood. No doubt should be left. And therefore, when you are doing meditation, अब meditation होने तो एक एक को दिखाऊंगा मैं गड़बड़ कर suffering inside. Then take the revenge afterwards. See? Laya vinashane ubhayarodhane. When you do pranayam, it happens only laya. The mind is quietened. It doesn't dissolve. See? It is like what? Laya vinashane. Example will make it clear. That is one of the reasons I do ironing of my clothes myself. In some house, Swamiji, no, our servant will do ironing. They do ours also. So I had to listen to everybody. Now that man, he gave me my clothes, folded, and after folding, whatever comes above, that was nicely done. Swamiji. And when I opened it, Vishwarupa Darshan. Same thing happens. Laya, when you are doing pranayam, only the mind remains quieter only during the operation of pranayam. And when you are again in the world, again dhum dhadaka begins. So some of them become angry birds outside, and some of them remain frustrated inside. Because they are torturing themselves by this wrong method. See, laya gatam punarbhavati. Again the mind comes back to square one. See? You must have played the snake and ladder. No, only one is required. I am at 99. Krishna, 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 Krishna. 6. Oh God, you come back again. Where you gone? 2. This is the story of pranaya. And again you start. So, layagatam punarbhavati. Then vinashane. But when the mind is destroyed by inquiry, see, what is the inquiry? Inquiry is this. Laya vinashane na mrutam. Mrutam na bhavati. Again it is not born. See, so 2 things. By pranayama, mind is dissolved temporarily, it comes again. But when you are destroying the mind, destroyed mind will not come up. Like when we cut the tree and we feel everything is over, again the sprouts come. You have to uproot it. Destroy the mind. Oh, then we should take drugs? Mind is destroyed? No. We must understand what is the meaning of destruction of the mind. See, friends, what normally people do or that doctors do, they give you the painkiller. What is the painkiller? Which kills you without pain. See? It doesn't help you come out of the disease. See? Painkiller. Similarly, pranayama is like the painkiller. During the pranayama you are all right, after that then again the same thing begins. So what is the meaning of destruction of the mind? For that we must know the functioning of the mind. Unless you know the health of the mind, you cannot know the disease. And the disease has to be removed, then the mind is no problem. Mind has got two functions. See? One function is perception. Unless the mind is available, no knowledge can take place. See? Like many times as it happens in satsanga, now I have been talking for how much time? 50 minutes, 50. Now out of 50 minutes, how many minutes you have completely heard me? Huh? Even this is not heard. So, hearing is happening, but listening is not happening. Because mind is running here and there. So, one is hearing, second is listening. Now, when we are listening, we are different quality of mind. When we are hearing, we are different quality of mind. So when we perceive anything through the mind, after that, if the mind starts reacting or projecting, see, like I see, oh, this is a nice tab, mine is an old one, I should get a new one, I can do something more. So after looking at something, if you stop there, our mind is like a mirror. But we have trained our mind. Dekho, suno, bolte raho. So then the mind starts projecting. What is the projection? Projection. Number one, that object is good or bad. Evaluation. Second thing, that object is the source of happiness or misery. Third, I don't have that object or I have that object. Fourth, therefore, yena kena prakarena, I must procure that object or I must throw that object away. This is the projection of the mind. This projection together is called a desire. See? Either the mind receives the world and then starts projecting. Or else the best thing is the mind doesn't receive anything. Go to sleep. See? This is our practice years together. Whenever the mind is quiet, goes to sleep. What we have done in our whole life? We are doing that only. First of all, we withdraw from the whole world. Then we withdraw from the places. Then we withdraw from our personalities. I am husband, I am wife, I am rich, I am poor, I am Indian, I am not Indian, blah, 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 blah. We withdraw, drop everything. When there is nothing left to withdraw, the mind is so quiet, we go to sleep. See? This is the training we have given. For this purpose, I tell you, don't do meditation. 99% people, when they do meditation, they go to sleep. Because it's not their fault. This is how Bhagwan's Leela starts. They are called as the Pratibandha, the obstacles. And therefore, we have to clearly start living in meditation. So, when the mind is perceiving something, is the mind projecting something? This is what we have to remain aware. So when we see something, yes, it is beautiful, nice, and we stop here, then our mind is like the mirror. But then we keep on, oh, so nice, How many years this must be old, Must be 10 years? No, it is elder than you. See? The mind wants to continue this relative world. Nobody wants destruction, is it not? Mind also doesn't want to die. See? And that is why these mind's tricks are to be understood. And what is to be taught to the mind, my dear? You don't die. You come back to your divine glory. You don't die. See? When, let's take an example, husband, wife. When they divorce, who dies? Nobody dies. Both of them are staying, no more husband, wife, but we are staying as partners. I always remember one example, that lady, German couple. I didn't know that they are not married. One day she was a little down. I said, Mama, something wrong with you? Am I a problem for you, between you and your husband? Swamiji, he is not my husband, he is my partner. He is my boyfriend. Buddha friend करो ना, boyfriend कह रही है. Old boyfriend. Girlfriend. So when the divorce happens, who dies? Is the wife dying? She doesn't die because she doesn't exist. Then what is a wife or a husband or any relation, or to be more general, any expression with reference to some conditioning? His appearance doesn't exist. See, this must be very clearly understood. So, as a son, as a husband, as a father, as a daughter, as a wife, as a mother, these entities do not exist. But if we see our life only around that, do you mean we should leave everything? No, don't cry, suffer. Don't cry. We have to understand. See, what we have to understand? Kurvanne veha karmani jiji visheshadagam sama. Whatever you are supposed to do it cheerfully, happily, don't suffer. See? But those who are obsessed with this relative world, they say, people like you, they tell, therefore our children don't listen to us. As if they are listening to me. See? Therefore, layagatam punar bhavati no mrutam. When the mind dies, it doesn't come again back. What is the meaning of death, therefore? Perceptions are intact, but the old habit of projection is suspended. No more projections. Do this, do that, do that. No. Relax, relax, relax. See, this is the highest, biggest spiritual practice according to me. Dekho, suno, mat bolo. And even if you say something, don't make it a big thing, really, really. Yeah, very beautiful, it is so nice, I have never seen. After that, forget. Did I say like that? So, the only example I give you is, as you listen to Vedanta, listen to the world. See? Did you say that I am Brahman? I remember only I am a husband and wife only. Maybe during satsang I am Brahman, afterwards I retire. Back. See, friends, spiritual practice is not a torture. Because we are not understood, we go the wrong way. Therefore, remember, pranayama is initial stages. So, what you have to do as the spiritual practice, in the 14th mantra, the teacher says, we'll take it in our next class, prana bandhanat leena manasam eka chintanat nashametyada. What it is, how it is, let us see it in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।